Oops. Hello. Hi. So I'm in a different room today. Now, I guess I had an idea to go live from the patio balcony, from the balcony. And I was like, ew, that means I'd be outside. And it's a little warm. And then I was going to go live from in front of the balcony to simulate going live outside, but I was horribly backlit, and you wouldn't have been able to see me. And at first, I knew it was going to be backlit, and I was like, "Oh, it's fine." But then I was like, I decided to not. So here I am now. All of the cards from the CC11 spiral are still in there. I might go live and um, get like final cards and put them away. Excuse me. I did notice, however, when I put all the cards in the spiral formation, that the two blanks were actually next to each other in that spiral. No, I don't remember which one that is, but I can for gosh darn sure. 4:44 p.m. Pull it up. Let's see. I was like, oh, I didn't know that they ended up in the same step right next to each other. Excuse me. Where were they? It was in number 8. Let's see if I do it this way. Oh wait, I took the pictures. No. Hey, Kilo, how you doing? You changed your name? Oh yeah, Ted Kilo is cute. You're fine. Um, I thought I took them on here, but I actually did them on the computer because that's where I did this. I got my laptop. My mom put it in the recent shipment of my belongings. So that's why I was like, oh, I'm going to take my laptop outside. Well, first I was going to just go live from my phone. And then my laptop came. And I was like, yeah, no. I mean, it's a decent day. It's not too bad out there, but I don't feel like braving the elements. Excuse me. So it is an 8 in the Taming the Wind. It's the Son of Cups, the Five of Wands, blank, blank, Four of Swords, King of Earth, Four of Water. And I was like, oh, snap, the blanks lined up. What does that mean? I don't know. Doesn't mean anything. I don't know. ADAO, I don't know. And then my journey buddy yesterday, she was like, I'm watching this and I don't understand the game. I was like, what are you talking about? Was there a game? Kinda. Excuse me. I'm tired, as you can see. Um, there was kind of a game, but not really. There's like if you want to spell a word or whatever you want to do with this, it's on the internet for you to do. So I'm using the SKT Revelations edition. Yeah, and the Enchanted Map Oracle cards. And as I was shuffling the SKT, 3 cards flipped over. First, it was Apocalypse with the Shining Flame. I'm not sure, Kalua. Excuse me. I am uncertain. I only know where I am at the moment, and I guess where you are. I think I know where I am. Now, the Shining Flame came out maybe between Pisces and Aries season. The third card is the Bereaved, which is the Three of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Lovers. with the Hierophant behind that, and then the World behind that, and the Ten of Pentacles behind that. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, my right nostril just got so stuffy. Um, I think I might do a Leo season. Pull a few cards because apparently, excuse me, I'm not sure if it's right or not, but the day that the sun transited into Leo, Venus retrograded in Leo. So I'm pretty sure this is Isis. Isis finds all the pieces of Osiris and puts them together and then resurrects them from the dead. Right? Oh, it's the Ten of Pentacles, right? Yep. And then the Nine of Pentacles is behind the Ten of Pentacles. So in the Lover's card, in the Ten of Pentacles, and in Judgment, we see the Kabbalah tree of life. In the Lover's card, the 10th emanation is separate from the tree, but on the other two, it is complete. So on the Lovers was at the bottom of the Lovers Hierophant, because there's something about like something that we bring to resolution, maybe. Because I'm looking at the 10th orb emanation in the hands of the seeker or the keeper or the initiate, of assuming whoever resonates to this and for this. The one that was over here, now attached below. And it's like that is some kind of, it just like it feels like all ISIS is waiting on you're fine is a signal. It's like the pieces are all together, everything's ready to go, but there's one thing that's, I don't know if it's missing, I don't know if it's needed. Hey Holly, how you doing? You're fine. I kind of wish I was at the gym, but I probably won't be this week. So um it's also making me think of a video game that I've played. I mean, the game's been out for a minute, but it's and spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, spoiler alerts. And then they're like, it's like there are four pieces to the soul. I don't remember what they all are, but one of them is a sense of direction. And if there are four pieces to the soul, then this would be like there's three of them that are there. Um, this Knight of Wands, it came out, I think it was Pisces or Aries, as the third card of what Pisces season had brought us. and it was one of three in the third card. It was the Page of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and then another card that I don't remember. But it was just like as we're doing something, something else is simultaneously happening. But this is almost like it feels, because it's the Knight of Wands, because it's the shining flame, it feels like it's more than just like when we take control of our life or whenever we do whatever, then something else happens. But I guess wands can speak to like personal power. Um, and then over here, there's also all of these rays of light, both in the Hierophant. Well, there's multiple in the Hierophant, but there's only one in New World Order at the bottom of the deck. And then we also see in Apocalypse, in the Judgment card, they're also like shooting off multiple points. We already got these. Why not get an Enchanted Map Oracle? Excuse me. Yeah, but all those cards are still in there. I don't know if I'm scared. I don't even enter that room. I try my best to just let them be. I'll put them away eventually, and then probably before the next time I go live, because I'll probably be in there. I'm like 95% sure I'm not actually gonna go out there, even though I could, but I'm like, yeah, no. Listening 53 is the bottom of the deck. Decisions number 30 and Wishing Well 48 came out. Of the Enchanted Map Oracle cards. Wishing Well, it feels like wishing well. Like I like to wish someone well. Like I wish you well. More so than like a wishing well. Um I was like, where did I put my glasses? My glasses. Well, today's been a day. A day that I made it through. Let's go. So I don't know if it's the spirit of the well. It feels like this, like she's about to take off on wherever this journey is leading her. But before she goes, she's like looking back, and this is like the spirit of the wishing well, I guess. Whoever, whatever this is, I don't know if they're like wishing her well on this journey. Now, I guess that's interesting because we see this little spirit down here, but they're also sound like coming out of this door or leading to this door. I guess there are multiple coming up out of the wishing well. And then we see them coming out of that door. So in that sense, it feels like it's like a choice or a decision that's already been made. And then with that listening card, all we'd have to do is like, again, because they're right here at the well, it's like all we'd have to do is listen or pay attention, and we'd know which choice to make. Under this is 49, which is talisman, but we can see person from 48 like she's left. I might have to scoop back. Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier because I don't know what the next dream spell year will be. Well, there was a point in time where I knew that stuff. Well, there's a point in time where I knew it, And then there was a point in time where I just watched other people who would talk about it. There's a time where I kind of kept up with it. It didn't last too long. It was fairly brief. Um, I would look it up, but I don't even remember. I'll just wait until somebody makes a post about it, I guess. Like, is it still. Was it going to be Red Moon? Because I remember it was Blue Storm, and then it was Yellow Seed. Or was Red Moon last year? And so would it be the wind, white wind, white dog, white wizard? I think it's one of those three. Like I said, I don't remember. I looked like a while ago. But yeah, I just thought about that earlier. I've been like since we probably for about the last week. Well, probably pretty much the month. I know that, July 26th now. Um, this Hierophant is here. So the only like one of the only cards that's not piled up or stacked up on the desk is the Hierophant. And it's the Hierophant and the Runic Tarot that has the thing that we usually see on the Hanged Man. And here we see the light behind the Hierophant again. The Hierophant with the lovers could also signify like a marriage or like a union, right? Because Hierophant can symbolize marriages. So again, it's like these two coming together. It's the completion of the Kabbalah tree of life that we already have seen. And then the one that's repeated again on this 10 of Pentacles. Now, one of my favorite things about this Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles in particular, is that there's a flower growing in the void space. Like usually that void is empty, as you can see here. Like usually there's nothing there. But it's in that space that now something has grown, is growing, or can grow. Which isn't surprising, especially coming off of the CC11 spiral. So the Knight of Wands was the other thing that was happening. Um, wow, I'm like, good afternoon. Facebook will be like, good morning. Somebody posted this. I'm like, yeah, okay. Um, and it was the salamander, embers of the salamander. You see the salamander, the little dragon? I almost grabbed the Dragon Oracle deck because it was under the Enchanted Map Oracle cards. I looked at it and I was like, no, I'll leave it. Should I have grabbed it? Maybe. But with this apocalypse, it's like it's an action or a decision. It's something that we've put into place, that we've put into motion. We have married that 10th emanation to the rest of the tree. And the 10th one is Malkut. The ninth is Yesod. In my very, 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 very almost non existent knowledge, very little, almost non existent knowledge of the Kabbalah uh, tree of life, like Malkut is the macro inside the micro, but it's also like everything that we live in. It's like the physical world, basically. And Yesod is the point at which all of the other emanations sort of come together. Now, what's interesting about this is that it's like that's something that we already do, but the completeness of it Like we use information that we know, we have opinions, we have beliefs, and all of that stuff creates our worldview, and it creates the world that we live in. Um, wait, what? Watching a discussion about cardinal continuum and sets in regards to infinity last night. Oh, that sounds like stuff that would go over my head. If there's one thing I didn't like about math, it was the sets and that all of like the series and stuff. My brain just goes, it's almost like um, because the salamander was mirroring. Again, it's just that like as we do one thing or as we do something or as something that we navigate, we move, we change differently. There's so much other things that simultaneously change. And it has the potential to affect us for the rest of our lives. And those um, that we love, and like our kids, if we have them, and their kids, there's like multi generational energy in the Ten of Pentacles in the dynasty. It can go up too. It can affect your parents and their parents if they're still with you, or like relatives up, lateral, and down. Cool. I feel like that's as far as I'm going to go with that. Slash, that's as far as I want to take it. Because I'm like, okay. Yep. I'm tapping out. Excuse me. Like, what? You're going to quit? You're going to give up? You're not like, yep. Take it as it resonates. If your intuition, discernment, guidance reveals different or more to you, trust that, follow that. As for Patrick, he's moving on because I do want to do Leo season. So Sun in Leo, and I'm gonna pull the what three cards for what Cancer season imparted upon us or left us with, gave to us, whatever. One card for the beginning of Leo season, and then three cards for Leo season as a whole. So like the energy of Leo season as a whole, but the like what is the first thing that Leo, Sun in Leo wants us to be aware of and mindful of. I guess towards the end, the Sun is going to be trining the North Node and sextiling the South Node. Because the nodes just transited into Aries and Libra. And Pluto will still be retrograde, so the Sun opposition was in Cancer. Sun opposed Pluto happened Cancer Capricorn rather than it being Leo Aquarius. And I don't think anything else is in Aquarius. But the moon is going to be in Aquarius when we have the full moon. I don't know if anything else is going to transit into Aquarius. I don't think Saturn is going to. No, Saturn isn't going to retrograde all the way back into Aquarius. I know that for sure because my Saturn return is over. Yellow electric star. Oh, okay. Like for this, wait, it hasn't been that long because we just had the yellow electric seed not too long ago. And it's like every 4 years it'll cycle to the same color. Because I remember it was the blue storm and then the yellow seed. I think after yellow is red and after red is white. But I couldn't remember if this was the red year or if I'll look it up real quick. Uh, let's see if this will give it to me. It was on here. Come on, just tell me. Tell me. White overtone wizard. Yeah, it might be the year of the white wizard. White overtone wizard year. There was that one website. I might still have it in my bookmarks. Let me check real quick. Let me see. Let me see. From my brief stint in Mayan astrology, if that's what you want to call it. Let's see. Is it not on here? I guess it isn't. Oh, what was that website? I'll just do Mayan dream spell calculator. That will help. I mean, I don't know if it'll be right, but I'll have it. Are you not help? It's fine. Here we go. Let's try this one. This is one that I've used before. Um, so we'll do 726, 23. Yeah, it's the white overtone wizard. So it'll be the year of the white overtone wizard. So this was the year of the red self existing moon, maybe? Yep, the red self existing moon. Okay, got it. I did remember. What does that mean? I'll read it. This is starroot.com. The White Overtone Wizard, Yellow Southern Council of Giving. She's giving! uh, Earth Family Gateway Clan is truth. I empower in order to enchant, commanding receptivity. I seal the output of timelessness with the overtone tone of radiance. I am guided by the power of spirit. Ken number 174. There you go. There you go. There you go. Oh, well, that just, it happened. There was a friend at the time who got into it, got me into it, so I was into it. I've had like I've been into many things on my journey. Some of those things last longer than others. Some of them I'm like, "Oh, this is really cool. I'll get back into it." And then life will happen and then I'll forget or I don't like there are some other things that I kind of wanted to get back into. Um, I guess I have a month now. Anyway, it's fine. No problem. Somebody be like, they'll talk about it, and then I'll just be there. Okay, all right. So, who's at the cut? The joined one and the Herald of the Winds. The Two of Cups came out in every single deck yesterday. I think the Eight of Swords also came out in every deck. Oh, look, there's a. Oh, do we still got the Two of Cups? Nope. The Herald of the Winds brought the Ten of Pentacles. All right. We'll do three cards for. There's number one. There's the first card for Cancer season. Two more cards for Cancer season. Card number three. The first one is the Tower. It's the Tower, material and spiritual colliding. This makes me think of the one Dixology card. Maximizing or minimizing limitation or support, collision or cohesion. And it's an energy of like things will either work together or they'll work against each other. And then it says look to the root. Maximizing or minimizing, limitation or support, collision or cohesion, look to the root. And it's like it's us. We are the ones that decide whether things work together. It's like whether all things work together for the greater good or if it's like the world falling down around us or whatever. We decide in the ways that we decide. And again, like with the Judgment, Apocalypse, the Knight of Wands, and then that Three of Swords, the Apocalypse was us being like everything works together. And because we decide that everything works together, we see the things that make it so. And we become more available for the things that work towards moving us forward because it's like when we're looking for them, we become more aware of them almost. But the acts of Shiva is in this depiction of the tower card, and then we also see Shiva's like Trishula or trident thing. It could also be Neptune. But the acts of Shiva removes corruption. So purification, violent purification, like explosive diarrhea, projectile vomiting. That wasn't necessary. The second card is the Hollow Void, which is interesting because I was talking about the void in the Kabbalah Tree of Life and how it is no longer hollow. Or the Ten of Pentacles didn't depict it as such, the dynasty. Four of Chalices, the Hollow Void. We see the Scorpion in the tree. Scorpion relating to Scorpio relates to death and transformation. We see the Three Cups and then the Ace of Cups being presented by this cloud. I think that's a body of water. It looks like the Three of Cups is on one side and this Ace of Cups is on another. See, like there's like a stream with the bridge. The Three Cups are like on that side. This is on this side, and that's where the person is meditating. Which is also interesting because the blue and red that the person is dressed in is similar to the blue and red in the sky. And this tower card is similar to the blue and red around the heart of the wild woman. And then how that moved with Taming the Wind into the Rainmaker in the beginning of the CC 11 spiral, like before I was ready to start pulling cards. Third card. Ooh, face down on top of the tower. The third card landed face down and it touched the tip of the tower. From Cancer season, I keep wanting to say Pisces. From Cancer season is the Champion, the Six of Wands, Jupiter and Leo, Six of Scepters, which is victory. Like, we take it as it resonates. You know what I mean? But we emerge from Cancer season victorious with a sense of self awareness, with like a healthy sense of ego. It's Jupiter and Leo. But after what might have been a period of like a void period almost, And I think that came up in one of the reads recently, where it's like you do everything that you know you're meant to do, but you don't immediately receive whatever is for you to receive. Cool. Love that. This Six of Wands in particular also talks of sacrifice. I think there's also something in the Six of Wands. Where's the sixth? Oh, she's sitting like there are four wands that frame the throne, and then she's holding a wand, and then there's the sixth wand that leans against one of the ones in the frame. Um, but there's something in here. The Six of Wands, the Seven of Wands is technically my minor strength card. I think the Knight of Wands is my pre-strength card, especially in the Witch's Tarot, which makes sense now with the Apocalypse, pre-strength, and the Three of Swords, the bereaved. We had Apocalypse and then the Tower is right here. But again, the Tower removes corruption. In this deck in particular, it depicts the acts of Shiva, which removes corruption. Because of these two beasts on her throne, there's an energy of like knowing when to exert one's power. It's like knowing when to speak and when to be silent, knowing when to like put in action and effort, knowing when to exert effort and when to be receptive and to go with the flow. So, first thing that Leo season is bringing us is the Hierophant. Or the first thing that Leo season wants us to be aware of is the Hierophant. Again, the Hierophant is the only card that is sort of off on its own. Also, that Hierophant in the Runic Tarot had the crown of light that is usually reserved for the Hanged Man. Usually, it requires a lot of like isolation and a lot of completely upending one's life and looking at things in a different perspective or being like an outsider to whatever to get a certain perspective. But the Hierophant has it. And the Hierophant also symbolizes order. So it could be that it's like depending on how we put our worlds together, because again, that's like it's putting Malkut at the bottom of the Kabbalah tree of life. Malkut fall, it feeds into directly into Yesod, but also branches off into Had and Netzach. I don't know how to pronounce them. Okay. But one is about endurance. That's this. One of them is about endurance. The other one is about surrender. And so again, it's almost given that serenity prayer energy, like us knowing the things that we can change and the things that we can't, and having the wisdom to know the difference and the courage to do whatever is required. Interesting. So Leo season in three cards. First thing Leo season is saying is Hierophant, which is Taurus. I'll take them. This is Mars. We got Aries and Scorpio. Mars is the tower. The first thing that Leo season is bringing is the Emperor like came out and then the Reaper flipped over. So we see the masculine side and feminine side of Mars being Aries and Scorpio. And Mars is our, this is a lot of Mars. Moon in Cancer, which we just had that Cancer new moon on the hollow void in Cancer season, hence the new moon part. And then we have Jupiter in Leo. So it's like there's a heavy focus or emphasis on Mars and what Mars is doing or going through. Welcome back. Or the purification of Mars. And a purification of Mars can be something as simple as, like, again, pulling off of this, us putting in effort where it's necessary, but also us um, not always needing to be the center of attention or to do the thing. It's that balance. And then we have the new moon in Cancer with Moon in Cancer. And then with Jupiter, it expands out into Leo season. So something from specifically or non specifically, fairly generally, something generally specifically from the last month since the time the sun has been in Cancer. There's something that it's almost like maybe we've been experiencing the opposing side of the spectrum. So if you're someone who's typically reserved or who doesn't speak their mind, maybe you had an opportunity to and you did. If you're someone who's usually like outspoken and your opinion is always heard, maybe you got an opportunity to like listen. And maybe in getting an opportunity to listen, you got to witness something working out in a way different than you would have necessarily gone about it. Not to say it was better, not to say it was worse, it was just different. But in that difference, there's something that comes to your awareness. And then it's like, okay, so maybe I don't have to lead everything or not. But it's like something that started specifically Mars focused because it is Mars. And then again, we see Aries and Scorpio that came out together, which is more Mars. Mars, the sun is exalted in Aries. Mars is the ruler of Aries. I don't know of anyone who is exalted in Scorpio, but I just don't know. You know, maybe Pluto. Well, Pluto would be like domicile in Scorpio, I would think. Pluto wasn't a thing back then, okay? I don't know where Pluto falls. I don't know anything besides the things that I know. Uh, but that's interesting because I feel like Mars has been a character of interest for a hot minute, and I guess the North Node did just shift into Aries because the North Node just shifted into Aries. It feels like that's why Cancer season was so pivotal because in a time where energy is going to be like picking up, it's like it's going to be not important. It's going to be beneficial to know how to go about getting things done and to be able to manage one's own energy. You know, if you have a high energy day and maybe you'll be like a little short tempered or whatever, like anybody and everybody can catch hands or get an earful. And it's like, it may not necessarily be helpful, but anyway, this could also be the transformation of ego with the Emperor and the Reaper. Or it could just be, again, like a different way of going about things, a different way of getting things done. But because of the rebirth associated with the Death card and with the Reaper, um, it's like it works out for the better. But it is, again, it feels like it's a change in direction. We also see, oh, look at that. Because the Hierophant is basically sitting up here. So we have this ray. Okay, well, if I put it here, it's a little easier to see. This one coming down through to the Reaper. And the Reaper is following that light. The Reaper is actually moving toward it. The Emperor is looking away from it. So, um, if not, then it's like, I don't know, it's just to be mindful. Because Because sometimes, like a word once spoken cannot be retrieved. Oh. I'm gonna flip this back over and put it back in the deck. The dark horse, the dark horse, yeah, Mars and Leo also turned over, but we're putting that one back. All this Martian energy, and like Mars is in Virgo now. Mars is in Virgo. Venus is still in Leo. The moon is going to be in Leo when we have that new moon Leo. Mercury is going to be in Leo. I don't even know where Mercury is. That's how out of touch with astrology I am. Pretty sure Mercury is not in Virgo, but I can't remember when the last Mercury retrograde was and what sign it retrograded. Oh, well, Sun and Scorpio, the memory keeper, the Hermit, Erudite, Virgo fell on the table. That's where Mars currently is. I'm going to put this, ooh, with the Archangel of oh, snap. Okay. Interesting. All right. The second thing for Leo season. So, Leo, the first thing is like, in general, it's going to be a time of, honestly, it feels like it's going to be a time of being able to take an ego hit for the sake of an overall smoothness or well-being, or for the overall progression of something. But it feels like it could just as easily be a time of like bridges being burned, and again, it's like saying things that one can't come back from. And then like sometimes even if you do apologize, it's like, oh, like I was having a bad day, tempers were high, everybody was whatever. Like someone can say that they forgive you and they can honestly mean it, but sometimes they're like, it could like rub people the wrong way. All right. Second thing, Leo season. This one I'll actually keep. Oh, two more cards. All right, they're coming in twos in Leo season, apparently. We have the Archangel of Glory with the Lovers, Angel of Art and Grace, Mystery of the Covenant. A covenant is a promise. There's that Lovers card again. Oh, and then there's the Hierophant again. um, Mystery of the Covenant is interesting. Mystery of the covenant, like the mystery behind a covenant, it feels almost like um, unintended consequences, but it's almost like the mysterious ways through which the divine operates. Like it's like when we agree to something and we don't know what all we agree to because we just don't know, right? Like someone could tell you exactly what something is and you can know, but until you go in and experience it yourself, it's like until that moment it's theoretical. Um, but with the archangel of glory, with the angel of art and grace here, it feels like there is a melodiousness, mellifluousness to it, like in a positive way. It ends up working out even better. Um, or it's like you do the thing and then you find out that there are like perks or whatever. I don't know. What's also interesting about this angel is that there's a blade next to the wand. Oh, that's interesting. There's a blade next to the wand. And that's interesting because there was the three of swords, and the three swords in the heart represented three different parts of the soul. And then the fourth part felt like it was the wand from the Knight of Wands. And it was like, that's the fourth part of the soul. Once all the pieces are assembled together, then something happens. The throne of this champion is also framed in four wands. So then it's like the four swords turn into four wands once Isis does her magic. This torch you see in the wands and the scepter suit, this is what a scepter looks like when it's upright. The torch of the Archangel of Glory is a wand in reverse. It's like fire shooting out the bottom. And then it's the Nimbus 3000 or whatever. Uh, but it's interesting that that's the Ace of. I guess it's not really interesting that that's the Ace of Wands in reverse. With that being the Ace of Wands in reverse, it's like it feels like higher desire. Um, like the Knight of Wands is the one knight that goes after the hot, new, fiery, sometimes lustful, passionate. It's the indulgent one. And this one isn't any less indulgent, but it's just like it doesn't crave anything that is unhealthy for it. Or it doesn't crave anything that in gross excess will turn into like a Seven of Cups type energy. But again, like that's probably part of the purification that Cancer season offered. That's part of this like Martian energy that's different than it used to be. It's part of the transformed sort of emperor. All right. The last thing that Leo season is going to bring. Oop, I keep seeing the title card in this deck. Last thing that Leo season is bringing, that was the Eight of Wands, but it didn't flip all the way over. The Eight of Wands also came out, and that was the salamander working in conjunction with the thing. I'll take it. It's two cards, so we're doing it all in twos. Oh, there's our full moon in Aquarius, Venus in Scorpio, the corruptor. There's this. There it is. No, Uranus would be trining Mars because Mars is in Virgo, Uranus is in Taurus. I was going to mention Uranus because the Hierophant. Uranus is like the only thing in Taurus, I think. Jupiter might also be in Taurus, actually. We get the star, the healer, and the healer and the corruptor. Oh, wow. There's the axe of Shiva that removes corruption, brought to the corruptor. There's the healer. Um, how many cards is this? Well, it was supposed to be 3, 1, 3, 7. I ended up with 2, 4, 6, 10. I ended up with 10 cards. As this is currently standing, the Archangel of Glory would be our Malkut as it's laying out on the floor. And Keter would be the Hollow Void as it's on the floor. Um, the Seven of Cups and the SKT depicts the seven deadly sins. So it's one of the decks where it's like there isn't really a good cup or a right cup when it comes to the Seven of Cups. And this plays into the last one a little bit. Um, it was more probably like pride or envy or wrath than like gluttony. Well, when it came to that Knight of Wands, especially. Um, yeah, when it came to the Knight of Wands and what one person desires. But since that Knight of Wands doesn't desire, it's like there is nothing energetically that feeds or fuels an outcome that is undesired. And so it's because of that that it's so easy for things to wax better and better and better. And also, again, it's because of the openness to experience better rather than to hold oneself in the worst or to continue to expect the worst or through a pessimistic, because like sometimes it is pessimism that'll cause us to miss opportunities. Sometimes it's pessimism that'll cause us to not go to that one job interview or to not reach out to that one person because we'll get rejected like we have every other time. Meanwhile, there are enough successful people that face rejection in the double digits and eventually found their success. To know that, you know, no, to know is a strong word, to provide evidence that sometimes a series of rejections does not mean that rejection is the only experience that one will have, right? I think there's also something in here. This is about making the right choices. Usually, well, I don't, I think sometimes we can be a little, whatever, it's fine. Um, but if it comes out, it comes out. There is something here that's about making the right choices. And it's the right choices for us. Right and wrong isn't necessarily something for someone else to decide, especially when it comes to us living our lives and what we desire. But what's interesting about, okay, because it's the mirror. So I don't know if this is going to, like, if there will be times moving forward that we reflect on or we think back to something that non specifically occurred within the past month while the sun was in Cancer. Because here the axe of Shiva is bloody, it's been used. Here it's clean, but the mirror is like it's providing reflection back. Here is the presentation of those options, sort of again in the vein of the lovers with the Archangel of Glory. The lovers is also a card of, in a way, of decision making. To choose a lover or a partner and then to dedicate oneself to that person in whatever way dedication looks for however long that lasts. It's a card of like choices and decisions that have the power to impact one's life for a non insignificant amount of time. And it's almost like that is the metric of healing, maybe. It's when we make those choices and decisions that we wouldn't have been able to make before that opens up those pathways moving forward. Okay, so that's Leo season. I don't know why Pisces is like, I keep wanting to say Pisces season. Probably because the salamander. There's also a lot of like the healer with the corruptor. And then the Reaper and this Emperor. More so the Reaper. It's like the rebirth of the Reaper partnered with this healer that makes like, but again, it's because of how Cancer Season left us as the champion. And the champion is the one that does not fall victim to their desires. That's why the wand is stabbed into the leg. It's like, no, we don't do that anymore. And you can do whatever you want. It's your life. Am I gonna get? I'll get one of these for Cancer Season and then one for Leo Season. The Enchanted Map Oracle cards. Cool. But yeah, like Leo Season is also going to be a lot of like healed actions, leading us again to places that we may not have experienced before that we want to. And it feels like part of that is um, the mysteries of the covenant. Yeah, part of that is the mysteries of the covenant. This covenant would be, it's reading like a promise that we make to ourselves or a promise that we made to ourselves. Cool. All right. Give me Cancer Season. All right, with 3, 2, 1, 0. Nope, nothing for Cancer Season. Let's see. Will you give me Leo Season? Give me Leo Season 5. There we go. Spark 34, Rescue 16. This is a 7-7. Today is a 7-7-7. July 25th, 2023. The spark came out up top. Is this like a muse? Look, we see our fairy again, our fairy friend. And then rescue. Bottom of the deck is One Ring Circus. What's behind One Ring Circus? Stuck in the mud, of course it is. Stuck in the mud at One Ring Circus. Well, that came out. That wasn't when I did the spiral. That's when I read something else. I'm pretty sure that was before the CC11 spiral. And it was just like one of those it is what it is. It's like if we don't do the thing, it's like if we don't show up for the interview, we don't get the job. It doesn't matter how many times we've been rejected. It doesn't matter whether or not we think we're qualified or whether or not we think we're good enough. Because ultimately, the hiring decision isn't ours to make. The decision that's ours to make is if we show up for the interview and if we accept the job once it's offered. And again, I feel like that plays into this, like the choices and decisions that are ours to make and the ones that are not, or vice versa. It's like we show up and do the things that we can do. But that Mars is all about action. Mars is about drive. Mars is about what it takes to make something happen. Mars is very closely related to the spark. And with this rescue, again, there's this energy of like, that's the same. It's the same as the bereaved. It was like Isis was waiting on a sign, waiting on a signal to resurrect what Osiris, or to resurrect whatever she's working on. Like our spark is the sign. for the one in the boat. And it's not that we need rescue, but some of us might. um, but it's like if the rainbow smoke wasn't coming out of the chimney, the person in the hot air balloon would have never known that she was there. It's almost very you have not because you ask not, but instead of like asking, it's about doing. Right? It's almost like if you're like, I don't know. It's like if you never show up for something, then how is anybody supposed to know that like you want it or whatever? It's almost like we didn't think you were interested. We didn't think you wanted it because you didn't show up. And it's almost also like it's very cheesy, like you hired me to help you, but you ended up helping me. you know, I was the teacher, but you ended up teaching me. Type of along that vein, almost. And I don't know if that plays into the Emperor with the Reaper, but it's like, we show up for one thing, or you go in with one idea, and it ends up becoming something different. It's the mystery of the covenant. Hey, David, how you doing? It's within the mystery of this covenant. Like you think that one thing is going to happen, but something else ends up happening, but it all works out for the better. This is gorgeous down here, by the way. There's some other stuff in here that I'm not going to read. Well, yeah, it's not. We'll call it non-relevant. All right, we're gonna go final cards. Leo season is looking real interesting. This is like I don't know. It's like a juice bar or whatever. Like let's go out into let's go camping a weekend or go to this wellness retreat or a yoga class. Like let's get into and Leah was loving it. It's like yes. Like I've been into hydrating lately. Getting in my water. Speaking of water, I need to drink more. All right. Final card from these. Well, I'll put these away first. There you go. Three of Pentacles is at the bottom of this deck. It's the Mason in this deck. All things working together. Active participants. The Three of Pentacles is a card of collaboration. And it says ex nihilo nihil fit or fit. And I feel like it's like from nothing there is nothing. Like nothing from nothing. You have to put in something to get something. You're going on vacation with no. Oh wait, are you really? Are you talking about going on vacation with no destination, or are you just like in general? Because I was going to say vacation sounds exciting. After the day I've had today, I had to work at work. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? There was a part of me that's like, oh, I'm so productive and I'm feeling so capable. But there's another part of me that's like, oof. You know what I mean? Oh, well, I hope you enjoy your vacation. Is that? Yep, there she is at the bottom of the deck. I feel like I need to hit up Reem. Like, hey, Reem, what's Isis up to? I might send her a message after this. I probably will. The Sacred Flame, Ace of Wands just made an appearance. All right. I still want to get the final card from the Enchanted Map Oracle cards first. So, Enchanted Map Oracle cards, now that the other cards are shuffled away, what is the final thing, if anything? I'll give you 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. There is nothing. The Enchanted Map Oracle card is really good at being like, nope, today. So, uh, who's at the bottom of the deck though? Unexpected visitors. See, there it is. This is why there's nothing. It's meant to be unexpected. It's like it's supposed to be a surprise. It's like you didn't tell me you were coming. Like, duh. It wouldn't have been a surprise if you knew. You know what I mean? It says unexpected, not unwelcomed. Oh, the seeker. Okay. All right. Excuse me. And the vagabond, of course. Of course. All right. That was quick. The chariot and the rogue. 7-7 again. 7 of swords is the rogue. Moon and Aquarius. The chariot is Cancer. What tone is this? I don't know what tone self-existing. I think self-existing is 2. So is overtone 3? Let's see. No, this is 5. Overtone is tone 5. I don't have any tone 5 cards. I got tone 7 and tone 12. No, I'm curious. What's at the bottom of the deck? Tone 4, the Shining Flame. Embrace embers of the salamander. My brain said embrace of the salamander for a second. That's the one that becomes a sword, or the one that triggers the swords to become. Oh, he's also holding a dagger. I guess that's fine. That's fine. There's a dagger. There's a dagger, and usually the dagger is a tool of the rogue, of the thief. And then, okay. Well, there's the tower. If you were looking for the tower, which is another 7, by the way. But the sharpshooter, 8 of wands, Mercury and Sagittarius. That was at the cut, I think, at one point. I saw it, or maybe it came out, but I wasn't ready. The chariot and the rogue, like a thief in the night, with the shining wands. Yeah, it's just like it's like I wanted different, so I did different. It's like you're not necessarily going to frequent the same things that you used to. I feel like also with this, there are some things that aren't. This is also good karma. I say it's good karma because of the figure watching in the back. See, there's like a ego trappy energy here, but I guess it isn't because the tower came out in Cancer season. So it's just like sometimes in life we think we'll get ahead or we think we'll get farther if we take or if we steal, right? So like let's say you find a wallet and it has $50 in it and you really need $50, so you take the money and you get $50. And this hypothetical in particular. Now let's say if you return the wallet and to the person and they check it to make sure everything's in there as one would. But it's like they're not concerned about the $50. There's something else in the wallet. Like let's say it's a picture that's a keepsake of someone that they like to have always close to them. And let's say it's a picture that they only have that copy of. Now, when you give the wallet back and everything is intact, it's like that person in this hypothetical is so grateful that they give you $50,000. because to them, I guess part of that illustrates the difference in what we value. That person didn't care about the money, they cared about the photo in the wallet. It was the photo that was important, it's the photo that's priceless. It's the photo that $1 million they would pay to have in their possession. So 50,000 is nothing. And you don't care. I mean, you probably don't care about the photo. You wanted the money. But in that like moment, there was a test of character that happened. They say opportunity makes a thief, but I'd say opportunity reveals one. Because nothing makes anything. There are people who go through similar situations, people who go through better, and people who go through worse. And there are an entire spectrum beyond the spectrum exists on this planet. Situation and circumstance alone does not create anything. Because if that were the case, everybody in similar situations and circumstances will turn out exactly the same. And no one would experience different, better or worse. But anyway, it's that test of character. Like cancer season was that tower that with the bloodied axe of Shiva that removes corruption in this case being stealing. Um, Again, it's relative. If you need $50 to eat, feed a family, whatever, it's not so black and white. And it's different because it'd be related to whatever cancer season or up until cancer season took you through. It would be something that you were given. It's like first there's the sign, the synchronicity, the dream, the message, the passing word, the feeling, the thought, and then there's the opportunity to follow up on it, to do whatever. The Emperor and the Reaper were there. Part of the thing that I'm not necessarily going to read was that, like, again, it's like there is just desserts. Saturn is, I say Saturn because people go to Saturn for karma, but I think Pluto is also associated with karma. They're both retrograde. Saturn and Pisces, Pluto and Aquarius, I mean Capricorn. But anyway, in the hypothetical, it's like you return the wallet and you end up getting more. And that covenant is to self. That covenant is with whatever the covenant you formed. Whatever you promised yourself, whatever you promised the divine, whatever you, again, it would have been something that you had like come to a conclusion on or work through or whatever. And then the universe will provide you an opportunity. No problem. Um, and then it can work out even better, you know? Or let's say that you don't get anything from that person, but someone else sees that kindness that you did by returning that wallet, and it either comes back to you later or whatever. Like there was somebody, I went to the store with my mom the other day before she left me. We went to the store and there was a guy that had bought a PlayStation game. I don't even know what the game is. He had bought a PlayStation game, and my mom was like, "Oh, he forgot his game," and so she gave it to the worker, and the worker chased after the guy, and she was like, he was lucky that somebody honest found it. But there have been times where like she may have like dropped her wallet. I remember one time we went to Indiana Beach and she dropped her wallet. And we went to like the lost and found or whatever, and somebody had ended up turning it in and everything was in it. So it's a kindness that we get back. It's a kindness that, whatever. But in the secret, in the mystery of the covenant, it's just that it almost feels intentional with the way that we don't even know that we're going to get it back. But that corruptor was there right next to the healer. So it's not like we aren't going to get opportunities to not do what it is that we said we were going to do, or to not be who it is that we are becoming. And if we don't do the thing, it's also not for us to like it's so delicate or whatever. But it's like it's not for us to condemn ourselves or whatever. But at the same time, it's not for us to not want to do or be better either. If that's something for you. If you don't want to do any different, then don't. You know what I mean? So, long story short, who knows what I know? But anyway, this has been. Let's see. You want to see outside? You can probably see outside. There's my TV. There's the patio, balcony. There's a house. I actually love how like I love how manicured it is because it just looks so nice. It makes me want to like walk back there and do outside nature things that's not too far from home. I don't have anything out there yet. There were some like little birds that would just like they would be in here and then sometimes they would like hop up to the glass and just like watch me. Not watch me, but they'd be like, "Hey, what's going on in there?" I'm like, "Air conditioning." I'm sorry. Anyway, I hope you all have an amazing whatever. Whenever you see this, I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. Thank you, Kidua and Holly and David for being here. Leo season's looking interesting. The most interesting thing to me about what Leo season is looking like is that it feels like it's a time for character to shine. But Leo is almost, it can be that stereotype, that archetype of someone who is almost so, it's almost like an obnoxious goody goody two shoes. And I wouldn't necessarily think of that for Leo always, but it's a combination of presence and being seen, and a combination of having heart and a lot of heart and strength. You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily, I don't know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I was going to say it's not necessarily the one who's like the like behind closed doors, I don't tell anyone that I do this and I do that. It might be the one that's like, here I am doing this. And, excuse me, I'll hear people, I think it's an interesting dichotomy. But I'll hear people say that, like, oh, like if you're gonna be a good person, you should be a good person off camera. Like you shouldn't do it for clout or do it for this or do it for that. And to a certain extent, I agree. But also, I love watching it on the internet. I love seeing people be generous and compassionate and caring and good people. And in order for me to see it, sometimes it has to be captured. So, you know, I'm not upset, especially if the intentions behind it are right. You know what I mean? Not everything necessarily has to be out there, but for the people who wants to see a little bit of good on the internet, which is me, I say thank you and keep it up because it again, it's I don't know, it's one of those things that can restore your hope and faith in humanity, right? Especially in a world where there's so much like bad and negativity and stuff like that that's being like publicized and that's like circulating. Why not? Why not? Who is it harming? If it's harming somebody anyway, it's fine. Leo season, it's just like it's a time where like strength of character it feels like is gonna show and also be rewarded, but not necessarily in ways that you would think because of the mystery of the covenant. So until next time, hopefully I will be at my desk and the CC11 spiral will be closed, meaning the cards will be put away and I can get that room back because and not feel like I'm intruding when I go and take the chair from there because my couch is a little far from the TV. That's fine. All right, I will catch you in the next one. Did I go through the whole thing? I think I did. What do I hope for you today? For you today, I hope an environment that you find, or a space, or a place that you find in your life somewhere that you can be kind. But it feels like it's like where you can be kind and that kindness not be taken advantage of, or that kindness be appreciated, or maybe even reciprocated. Let's get crazy, right? And it doesn't feel whatever. It's like when you're with a close friend or when you're with someone that you love and you can be kind. It's like a kindness and a compassion that's also like vulnerable in a way, because you know it won't be like taken advantage of. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, whatever you're looking for, I hope you find. But also, I hope you the wisdom to see, the courage to move, and the strength to whatever, so that you can get where you're going and what you want. Because sometimes it requires effort, you know, and effort isn't the worst thing, you know. I don't know. Anyway, catch you later. Bye.